Check out this clip from a recent episode of Booked on Rock. Alfredo Marziano is the author of XTC Skylarking, A Life in a Day, the making of a pop classic. Heading into the album, Virgin Records essentially gave XTC an ultimatum: find a new direction or work with an American producer who could help the band in the US. How much pressure did that situation place on the group? And do you think Skylarking would have been a completely different album had those commercial pressures not existed?
I think so, because as I remember, I think it's Dave Gregory that says that until the point, XTC used to have quite of a free hand in choosing the producers and choosing the sounds of the records. When they were confronted with Todd Rundgren, who is a very, quite strong personality, they have to face a man who had a real clear idea of what he wanted the record to sound like. And this, pushed to give way to a strong personality clash between him and Andy Partridge, who is the more, strong-willed musician in XTC and also the main composer. And so, yes, of course, the mark of Todd Rundgren is very much present in this record. I think it could have been a very, very different record if another producer had been chosen to work on it instead of Todd Rundgren. This is even Andy Partridge now recognizes that Todd made sometimes the very, very clever decisions, and he left a very strong mark on the record. But it was for a good cause. It was for a good goal.
Chapter 3 paints a vivid picture of XTC arriving in Woodstock and finding Rundgren's rustic Utopia Studios. Several accounts describe the studio as somewhat chaotic, mouse nests in the Chamberlain, equipment scattered around, and a less than glamorous setup. Before Rundgren even arrived, the band spent days rehearsing and preparing songs. What were Rundgren's first impressions of XTC and the material that they brought with them? And how quickly did it become clear that his vision for the album might differ from theirs?
When Todd listened to the demos, he had already an idea of the sequence of the songs and how to put them in the record, which one to select, to pick up, and which one to discard. And that was a big shock and a big surprise for Partridge in particular, that was used to a totally different way of working, to scatter ideas around, to have maybe 20, 25, 30 songs, and then let them develop naturally, organically, and after that, choosing the best ones. Instead, Todd, from the very beginning, said, no, these are the 13, 14 songs that we are going to use. So this is the sequence of the songs. Just put them on tape with the right sounds and with the right arrangements and with the right performances. So a big shock for them and for Partridge particularly. There's another thing that happened. They were not used to. They didn't begin to work with the drummer. They started recording the record without a drummer, so they had to use the click tracks, and it was quite, displacing, discomforting for them. Just after they went to San Francisco, Prairie Prince put the drum tracks on the songs.
Don't miss the full conversation, available wherever you listen to your podcasts.